Hi, everybody. Part 2 of the homage to, the number one.
Homage to yes.
Yes, the homage to yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, part 2 to our show on Monday with the, I'll introduce him in a moment, with the number one parody account on Twitter, the Rian Johnson Parody account. So we're here for part 2, and we're going to be doing the deep dive on the Shill Wars. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of finish off the Monday stuff, because we didn't. I don't think we went into the film which Rian wrote too deeply, so we need to kind of go into the Last Jedi a little bit more to finish off on that one, and then we'll do the Rise of Soy Walker afterwards. So hopefully for about 30 minutes, we'll go through the remaining films, and then what we'll do is we'll get into the deep dive with the Shill Wars, and then what we'll do is we will go through a little bit of the history, because it's in its 3rd year now. So what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of the history, and then we'll go through the pictures of this year's contenders, and then hopefully we'll that should take about 90 minutes altogether. So we'll go through those one by one, and obviously, Rian has revealed the winner, but we'll spend a little bit of extra time, I think, on the winner, and then we'll maybe just 5-10 minutes to finish off. So we're here for part 2. I'm Mr. Brown. Our guests on the panel is the wonderful Rian Johnson. Hello, sir.
Hello, Man Baby Brown. Good to speak to you once more. Man Baby Brown. I do apologize. I've managed to delay the start of this because I was waiting for my pizza delivery, and the goddamn Domino's delivery man subverted my expectations. I expected it to arrive in plenty of time, and instead I received an empty box. So I was thoroughly disappointed, a bit like all the fans of Star Wars when they went into the cinema for my movie.
At least it wasn't a box with a shit in it, like The Last Jedi was at Christmas.
Well, there we go.
Oh, so you weren't actually writing the new trilogy?
Well, I've decided to take another night off from writing the trilogy. I mean, we've waited 4 years. Why not take some more time off?
I don't think one more night's going to make any difference, is it? So probably a good call on your part, mate. Well done. So yes. So you good today? Yes. You all fed and watered now? Yes.
I am. I've had my pizza, no pineapple on it, you disgusting man babies, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to unleash. Obviously excited to talk about my perfect movie, and then of course we'll get into the dirty lowdown on Shill Wars. I'll give you the insights to all the competitors, all the nasty little DMs they sent me. And yes, well, happy to relive the most epic of tournaments. So I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's just a shame we've come up against Gary from Nerdrotic, because he's stolen all our viewers, but I'm sure...
I feel sorry for him. Poor Gary.
I know, Gary, you should be watching this, mate. So...
Don't watch that. Watch this. Never
watch
mind the
this.
Is the 6th Jedi.
Hello, Cockney Spock. You all right?
All right there, mate. I'm all right. You all right? You all right at the back?
Right? Yeah, not bad. You all right, my friend? You up for this? You pumped?
I'm on my 2nd coffee. I'm pumped like a pumper. I'm pumped like a damn ranker.
How's lockdown going in New Zealand? How's it going?
It's great. Team New Zealand, if we all just trust each other and only 37 people get out, then only half the North Island will get infected. Good work, everyone. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Flattening that curve.
I'm still amazed that New Zealand has an East End.
East End, well, New Zealanders. Yeah, all right there, mate. I'll have to work on some comedy for that, but yes, good point. coming up.
Yes.
Kiwi Stenders.
And so you're good, yes. Other
Good
than
enough.
what's going on, good man. And bringing up the rear, which apparently he's told me that's how he likes it, is I don't know what he's calling himself today. Demon Scythe Shill Swap Shop.
Swap shop.
You all right?
Yeah, not bad. I'm excited to get on with this. I've been looking forward for it
Oh, yes.
for 2 days. And it seems like we just finished the last stream 5 minutes ago. It's weird.
It does indeed, even though it was 48 hours ago. I will just say hello to Lanky Giants, our number one, who's been with us from the first second, Sklavko, Kral Berab, PD Rich. Who else is here? Let's have a look.
PD Rich tells us we're overlapping. No, we can't go against the problem.
Yahtzee Istaphobe.
Everyone.
Oh, we're going. Bye, everybody. So, yes, we've got...
Sorry, problem. Sorry.
You fucked it up already. So we've got a few of the regulars in our in the chat. So hello to you guys.
I know a lot of people watch it on the playback, so as well.
Yes, I must admit the previous part one has done very, very well on the playback. So, guys, I am eternally grateful that you've made the part one of the Ruin. What's 2 films called? It's not a trilogy. What's 2 films called?
Duology? I don't know.
Two-thirds of the trilogy. One film and a sequel. A mistake.
We'll probably never see. Yeah, we'll probably never see the 3rd film. So we thank you for making that basically my number 1 video on the channel. So I'm eternally grateful for that. Can you believe it?
I'm so pleased for you. I have to say, I'm not used to creating things and them actually doing well after the fact. It's new territory for me.
You've had such a positive effect on my channel.
Who'd have thought it?
We've been broadcasting with Mr. Brownstone. Nice one, Flacco.
I'm
just wondering at something.
Is the actual? No, I say the actual. Is Ruin's parody account the chap that runs Ruin's parody account? Is he aware that the stream's going on at the moment? Maybe he could be listening in. I don't know.
He better be. All right, other Ruin.
Yeah, I have to make reference. You introduced me as the number 1 parody account. I have to actually concede there is a much bigger parody account other than me, and it's if you're interested, it's at Rian Johnson.
Yes.
That's the rather impressive parody account. It really does come up with the most bizarre bullshit you'll ever read.
Brilliant.
So he is the real master of parody. I'm just small fry compared to him.
A parody of a parody. A self-parody.
You did notice that on all the tweets that I placed the number 1 parody account Twitter handle on all the tweets. Did you notice that? Hoping that he would come on.
You'll get reports of a targeted harassment with that kind of.
So far, radio silence, everybody. So yes,
busy working on the trilogy.
I have tried contacting him directly, but I got neither listened to, replied to, or blocked. So it's just nil really. But I like to think he read it and thought, hey, he's got a point. That's another reason why my film's shite. But anyway, we'll get onto that later.
Yes.
Unreliable narrator. Ugh, can't film that.
So we're all good, yes, and we're looking forward to this, yes.
I'd be better if I had a couple of French maids with me, but I'm good enough.
I think that's for another stream, mate.
So that's what she said.
Indeed. What we'll do is we'll kind of continue from part 1 where we kind of left it off. I've done a few little questions and stuff that I'm going to ask your good self, Ruin. So if you could probably just, I would say, answer them, best you can. So we kind of we finished off on Monday describing The Last Jedi as where Luke throws the lightsaber over the cliff, and we were kind of comparing that to how the trilogy's gone, really. So
he tossed it off. He tossed it off the cliff.
So my first question is, obviously we the first main point of the film was you wrote the lightsaber going over the cliff. Why did you write Luke as a blue titty milk loser? Yeah.
Well, quite simply, from growing up in my little round-headed youth, I was always jealous of Luke, and I always said, one day I'm going to get my own back on this hero that everyone loves, and he's very popular, and all the girls love him, all the boys love him. What a hero he is! Selfless and loves his friends and his family, and he's still flawed. I'm not really used to writing heroes with flaws, but anyway. So I said, one day I'm going to get my own back, and just so happens I'm given a Star Wars movie. JJ gives me the setup, so I decide I actually asked myself, what's the most fucking ridiculous thing that Luke could do, which is complete betrayal of his character and the way George has set him up. It's the last thing he would ever do is toss his own father's lightsaber off the cliff behind him and then stomp off like a spoiled brat. And I thought, yes, that's probably the way to go, actually. So that was the motivation.
You've even by your answer there, you've even exposed my lack of knowledge for the subject, because you just said throwing his father's lightsaber. See, that's an extra level that I didn't even kind of cotton onto.
Excuse me, Ray's lightsaber.
Ray, of course, Ray. Excuse me.
All the lightsabers. They're all borrowed from Ray. She owns all the lightsabers.
And can we use a full name, please? It's Ray Skywalker, if you wouldn't mind.
Indeed. What was it? Blue titty milk or green? I can't remember.
It's green.
Was there a particular reason why you decided green?
You've been wearing your 3D glasses upside down. Green, just for the pure disgustingness of it. It looks like some kind of something that come out the nostrils of a diseased rhino. So I thought it would look particularly disgusting, dribbling down Mark's beard. And we actually shot that scene 57 times. Asked him to recreate that as many times as possible and give my little shrill laugh in between each one. So yes, just really my whole motivation was, how can I take the absolute maximum piss out of George Lucas, the legendary Star Wars characters, but most of all the fans? And I think I've succeeded in doing that, so I'm very proud.
Which color is more damaging to the patriarchy? I think it's green, isn't it?
Yes, I want to go with brown, but I was overruled.
Nothing more damaging than brown. Brown.
Yes, it doesn't show up too well against the green screen, unfortunately.
That's my name. That is Brown. You saying I'm damaging? No, cheers.
The thing is, though, about the milk, I've got a theory. It's even worse. That's not. Those aren't titties.
Had the milk gone off, by the way?
It's not milk. Those aren't titties.
Had it curdled?
Look at the creature's face.
Had it curdled before you gave it to him?
That's man milk Luke's drinking.
Spockney is absolutely correct. We actually cut the scene which shows how Luke extracted that liquid, and all I'll say is it wasn't from the breast region of the creature. I'll leave it at that.
Well, those are just
pre-watershed, so I won't reveal any more. But you can use your little man baby brains to work that one out.
Those udders are definitely between the lower flippers, not on the abdomen. So they're kind of
happy ending is extra.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a happy ending, was it?
Not for Luke. He had to drink it.
So what we're saying is, at that point, you had wrote...
It's good for your complexion. Come on, Ray, try some. Ew.
So do you think that was, in your case, a high point, for the rest of us, a low point of Luke's story?
Oh, for me, the high point was undoubtedly... Well, there's so many in my glorious movie. I mean, I particularly enjoyed the fact he never got off the goddamn fucking island for the whole movie. But,
again, never even considered that. Yes.
Stuck.
That particular subversion. Then he got his arse kicked by Rey. Grandmaster Jedi gets put on his arse by a newbie. But no, the by far the most epic moment was when he died of tiredness and disappeared into the night like a hot fart, and with it, the hopes and dreams of all the Star Wars fans. So that was the particular high for me.
To be fair, though, maybe he was seeing the future because we're into it's basically 1 year now in the UK for lockdown, and that's exactly how I'm feeling. I just want to kind of disappear. So, effectively, Luke had been in how many years had he been on the island? So,
Jesus, about
All of them.
about 30 years, I think we're meant to believe.
So effectively, he was on a 30 years lockdown. Fucking hell, poor bastard.
Basically,
Well,
straight after
don't
Jedi.
forget though, he had the porgs. He did have the porgs to keep him company.
For food and company.
Pogs and titty milk. So,
Fish nuggets.
okay,
It's
it could
not
be
titty.
it could be worse then, is what you're saying.
Of course, yes, could have been worse. He could have extracted the X-wing from the water and flown back to his friends and family and realized he made a terrible mistake. And actually, he can be the Jedi we all wanted, but no. Instead, let's stay sad and lonely and wanting to die. And that was a slight plot hole. I realized when I wrote that he could have died at any point. Really, he's on a cliff for goddamn sake. But yes, interesting for someone who wants to die, eats an awful lot of fish and drinks a lot of milk. But yes, I don't know, slight plot holes. Never mind.
Perhaps it was the
Smeg
porgs. But, Demon, any thoughts on Luke at the point?
Just that I'd like to ask Ruin what he thinks to Mark Hamill retitling the character as Jake and not Luke.
Well, I was very annoyed with Mark. I did actually go speak to Kathy and said, look, you need to have a word with this guy.
Kennedy.
And Kathy Kennedy, that's it. And Kathy via Bob, they pulled Mark aside and they said, now, Mark, you're being very naughty. You're speaking out a little bit too much. We need to slap you down, put you in your place, And yes, soon enough, Mark stepped right back into line. We threatened to deplatform him, cancel him, smear his character, and he very quickly towed the line.
Stepped into line, yes, like any good actor would, yes.
Yes, he's since come out and said what a masterpiece it is, and whoever it was who typed that on his behalf, we're very, very happy. Disney wrote up a little thing and said, right, Mark, you need to put this out on your account, and Mark stepped right back in line. Good boy, Mark.
Cockney, you've seen the film several times, and what did you say? Every time you see it, it gets worse.
It does. It's the opposite of Blade Runner 2049.
Any particular thoughts of Luke at this moment when he's, I
think he's tapped out. I like watching. I know we're jumping ahead, but I like the bit where the Jedi Temple burns down. Now that I've seen the behind the scenes footage, that Ruin there actually made Mark Hamill cry. That's not acting. He really is blubbing. So that just always makes me laugh a little bit extra.
He's a good actor when he wants to be. Yeah.
Real genuine fanboy tears coming from the face of Hamill on his
of course,
head.
The best scene that Mark acted in the movie wasn't actually in the goddamn movie. We had a scene where he was grieving for Han, very emotional, very powerful, but and it was only a short, maybe 30-second scene, but I unfortunately I had to edit it out because we had to have the CGI opera alien. We had to make time for that on Canto Bight, so we couldn't have Mark grieving, so that had to go. So never mind.
I think ultimately
great cut scene.
that was a good call. Taking him out.
Han Solo anyway? Some idiot that saved my life at least 2 times on 2 separate occasions across 2 movies. Solo who? Who cares? He's knobbing my sister. Screw that. I want to be doing that.
Okay, so to kind of, as I said, I've wrote a few notes down, what I could remember from the top.
B minor, D flat,
C major. I've wrote
Is he here? Few... Oh, hello, major. Oh, nothing.
I've wrote a few notes down what I could remember from the film because I've only seen it once and I don't think I ever want to watch it again.
Go back.
What was the stupid casino scene all about?
I feel as though you've not really appreciated the level of intellect and thought that went into the design of that particular. So, okay, let me hand feed it to you if I must.
Okay.
So basically, John Boyega, who you'll remember, the stormtrooper, everyone was excited about, and possible have Jedi powers, and everyone was really looking forward to his appearance in the next movie.
Was he the character that everybody was kind of buying into a little?
He was, but we couldn't have that. So I decided, first of all, we'd put him in a goddamn coma for the start of the movie. Then, when he comes out of the coma, we'll make him the comic relief. We'll put him in this see-through suit where he's pissing Bacta fluid all over the place. And then, basically, I ran out of ideas, so I thought, what else can we do? We'll have Tico zap him, and then they'll go on some goddamn stupid side mission where they choose to save space horses rather than orphan children, and it all leads to nothing in the end. So that was the thinking behind the Canto Bight sequence.
So it was all for nothing, is what it was. It was written all for nothing, is what you're saying. That specifically went out your way.
I'll be honest, I was drunk. I was just drunk. I hadn't finished the script. It was the night before shooting, and I needed something. I needed an extra 30 minutes. So that's what I come up with.
Thing is, that was what's his name? Del Toro, Benicio del Toro. How did you manage to get him on board to do such a elaborate?
Well, that's a story and a half. I told Benicio, you'll be coming on board to play the most powerful Jedi, and it's going to be fantastic. You're going to go up against the Snoke, and you'll be there alongside Luke. And then when he got on set, he read the script. It was really too late. He realized he was a stuttering idiot. So, great use of another legendary actor. There we go.
I do like, as an actor, I do like him. It's a shame he wasn't utilized a little bit more.
War, peace, good guys, bad guys. They're just made up.
Matthew, what did you think to the casino scene?
At the time, I didn't know what the hell I was watching. I thought
none of us did.
I thought, is this still a Star Wars film, or what are we doing now? Is this Fifth Element? What is it?
It's a Grand
James
National.
Bond on acid.
The Grand National, yeah. It turned into some weird Disney-fied 3D Animals thing. And completely eschewed the whole war that was supposed to be happening. I was watching it thinking, isn't everyone else that's just across the galaxy in absolute grave peril right now? And we're all messing around with some horses on this planet. What the hell's going on? They're supposed to be getting some kind of code, but they've completely forgotten about all that. And then they just end up flying back and getting captured anyway. And it was just completely inconsequential. Nothing came from it.
And at the same time, I think from a writing point of view, I always like contrived coincidence. I like the fact that they're thrown in jail for no reason, and they just happen to meet the person that could help them. But there was no force behind that. There was no plan. That was just a complete coincidence. Now, that's good writing.
Because if I remember correctly, they were getting some technology or a code or something for the ship that was... a fucking key. Yeah.
A big brass key that could get them on the big key to all the Imperial Star Destroyers, probably.
It just seemed a complete waste of time. So if that's what your intention was, to make it a complete waste of time, I think you got that spot on.
Yes, so it's called the toilet break moment in the movie. We all need it, but I unfortunately I suffer IBS, so I needed an extended break of around 30 minutes rather than the brief dash to the loo. So there we go, 30 minutes where you can go, you can sit on the porcelain throne, take your time, and come back after about half an hour, and really you've not missed any of the plot. Nothing's happened. It's not progressed anything, and it's not really affected the ultimate outcome of the movie. So I hope you appreciate that, man, babies. That was for all you IBS. It was
fantastic, mate. Lanky Giants. This was going to be my next question. On my notes, it says Princess Poppins scene. So, question from Lanky. Ruin, what was the Leia Poppin about?
So first of all, I'd like to address some of the criticism of this scene. And all I want to say is the Leia scene was 100% consistent with Leia's character in all the previous movies. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Demon, will you back me up on that? Perfectly consistent.
Oh God! Oh my God! Gee! Oh, oh, no, you
Oh
just
boy.
brought everything back to me by saying that. You really have. You know, when you just try to bury memories, and you think your life would be so much better without them, and just concentrate on the positive stuff in life. And just taking me maybe backpedal years now, and it's just oh God.
So interestingly, I went the movie secretly with my Jedi cloak, so no one would spot me. I was a little perturbed to find it was meant to be a very emotional scene. You had Leia, she's in space, her skin starts to crystallize, everyone thinks she's dead, and then obviously she just drifts and flies, and the music swirls, and bizarrely, people laughed. I was very upset that they took it as a comedy moment when it was meant to be so emotional. I don't know if any of you spotted the perhaps
Where was the
deliberate
umbrella?
error. Well, maybe in another 40 years you'll come to appreciate my genius.
Will ILM put an umbrella in next time?
Will you be doing a special edition?
If it helps
the Kathy Kennedy special edition.
If it helps protect her from the debris from the ship, then maybe we can put that in after the fact.
Can we get Dick Van Dyke in next time? All right, Princess Poppins, I'm just here to clean up the old chimney on the old radish or whatever shit you're on, the radish.
Well,
Right,
of
okay.
course, what happens then is that then Leia's in a goddamn coma for a period of the film. So at one point, I was trying to work out, can I get the entire cast in a coma for the
Got
movie?
the audience
Well,
in a
you got the
coma.
audience in a coma.
Audience in a coma. I know.
I can feel myself nodding off now.
Serious.
Well, there
You're
we go. It's
consistent,
like
mate. You're consistent.
it's like
I'll give you
one big Derren Brown experiment.
Honestly,
No relation.
In that moment, I thought she was dead. I really thought she was dead because we all knew what happened about Carrie, and I was just thinking, right, well, this is how they're going to write her out. Okay, fair enough. And talked about, you just subverted everyone's expectations again. You're just the king of it, absolute king of it. You've created a whole new type of cinema about, just purposefully subverting all expectations.
Of course, I mean, the way I look at it, you've got two legendary characters left after Han Solo was killed off. You've got Luke and Leia. Fortunately, Carrie passes in the real world. Mark's still with us. So what do? Oh, we'll kill Luke Skywalker off, but we'll keep Leia, whose actress is no longer with us. Perfect logic from the script master.
We're going to get to that in a moment. So yes. Shall I ask about, because I know this particular thing irritated a lot of the Star Wars fans, the hold-all maneuver.
Well, Holdo herself. Everything about Holdo, starting from the name.
I call her hold-all as in bag.
I call it with Holdo because she wouldn't tell anyone anything.
This was a big thing, wasn't it?
Well, some of the toxic man babies out there seem to take issue with my affecting of canon in this Holdo maneuver, because the argument being, well, if this is a valid way of attacking ships, then why haven't we been doing it since the dawn of time?
For the folks at home, what is the hold-all maneuver?
Hold-all maneuver.
Not a Hodor. Hold the door.
Hold-all.
It's a famous Game of Thrones scene.
Is it where you throw a bag at somebody?
Couldn't she just put a brick on the accelerator? It works with a Ford Cortina. Apparently.
That's a good
Cockney
point.
Holdo, that's what you needed. All right, lads, I'll take care of this.
What is her name? Holdo.
Vice Admiral Holdo.
Right.
Gwendolyn Holdo.
With
Vice Admiral Gender Studies.
She had the purple rinse, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
And she just came from a party because she was wearing an evening gown. Just what you need in the military, isn't it?
It is.
Imagine that. In
Well,
World
it's
War II.
take that, patriarchy.
Exactly.
What's the little addition, Ruin, as well, that you gave the character of a halo to her outfit? Because obviously she was all holy and unassailable in her morals. So I thought that was a good addition.
Well,
Holier
look,
than
my,
thou.
I'll be frank with you, chaps. My thinking with Holdo was, we had a character who was suggested to me would play the part of the Admiral figure perfectly well, and that was Admiral Akbar. You man babies might remember him.
Oh yes,
But obviously don't like
a
the
trap.
old Lucas
it's a
legacy
man.
characters.
It's a man, isn't it? It's a man.
He's a
male.
man. He's a fish.
He's orange as well.
He's a man fish.
And so obviously, being a popular original trilogy character, I thought, no, we can't have this bullshit. So I killed him off. It wasn't even on screen. It was just announced by, Sub Admiral Big Nose, whatever her name was, and yes, that was Akbar John. And obviously, Holdo steps right up to the plate, and yes, probably along with Tico, my all-time favorite creation. Very proud.
That was sad about Akbar, though. Bad news, Akbar's dead. Good news, Calamari's on the
It's
menu
just
tonight.
the maneuver is basically the Star Wars equivalent of the Japanese World War II Zeros with the suicide kamikaze runs.
Exactly. What a moment when she gives up her life and pulls off the
So
impossible.
you did your research.
Pulled off.
Yes, of course I did my research.
Yeah.
Of course I did. I didn't just pull this out my arse like it often appears.
Actually, I almost hate to ruin the banter with an almost serious point, but someone, not even me, someone else has brought up in the fandom that with JJ retroing, retrofitting, retro wanking, retro something.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it. Don't worry.
But basically saying, oh, it's a 1 in a million maneuver. Well, that means that Holdo was actually trying to escape. The fact that it blew up backfired because she thought, I've got a 999,999 chance in a million of getting out of this shit. All I need to do is put my foot down, hit the light speed button. So the Holdo maneuver was the Holdo mistake. Anyway, not funny, but true.
What a take.
Boom.
There were
Moving
definitely some considerable World War II references throughout there, like the bombers at the start, which were obviously genius conception.
Yes, we touched on this, didn't we, on Monday?
With the gravity bombs in space.
Look, I wanted a nice big space battle, which made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. So I invented these large, bumbling, extremely slow crawling bombers filled with explosives, massive fucking targets, one strike and they just explode into smithereens. And then I had to come up with some ridiculous rationale for how you can direct bombs downwards in space. So we Pablo come up with the idea, we'll do something with fucking magnets or something.
Magnets.
And don't worry about it, Room. We'll put it in the books afterwards. It doesn't have to make sense. And there we go. Slap, bang, wallop, put it on the screen,
Genius.
No one will care.
Genius.
See, a little known fact about World War II, it took place on Earth where there's gravity. But something that I guess Ruin forgot about. No offense, Ruin.
Magnets!
It's magnets!
For this last question, shall we get serious? What do you think?
No.
Or shall we?
If we must.
Subvert
Because
our
I think,
expectations.
yeah. Do you think Luke's death should have been removed from the film before it was released? Bearing in mind they had a year from Carrie Fisher's death to the release, because I made sure that I got my research on this today. So Carrie Fisher died basically a year before The Last Jedi was released. So Ruin, it's up to you. If you want to do the kind of, in character bit, I'm more than. But I personally think
I'll remove the mask for this question.
I think that this question is where probably the film stood or fell, and they had a year to do something about it. But that's just me.
Yeah. Just remove myself from character. So, because it is a really good point. You're absolutely right. They as awful as The Last Jedi was, maybe its biggest crime among many was that it just did not work as a middle movie, a second movie in a trilogy. And we've heard just recently there was an interview with Rian Johnson, some young lady on Twitter conducted, and she's been revealing bits of it, and it was absolutely confirmed that there was there was no plan for these movies. There was no communication between JJ and Ryan. They basically were just across the three movies working against each other. But yeah, I absolutely agree with the development of events. They had an opportunity to say, "Whoa, well, look, we've still got Mark. We should use him more." He wasn't used whatsoever in the first movie, and you know what? It makes no difference if there's an edited version. What's his name? Demon, help me out. Is it Ivan? Is it in the Fandom Menace? Who's the chap who does the video editing?
Ivan Ortega, yeah.
Ivan Ortega, that's the guy. Right, if you've not seen it, check it out. You'll find him on Twitter or you'll find him on YouTube. Ivan Ortega. He did a really, really talented young guy who's brilliant video editor, and he did his own edit of The Last Jedi. And as much as you can't polish a turd, he fixed a lot of these scenes so that the tossing of the lightsaber, that doesn't happen. He managed to create a training montage in the middle, which is brilliant. But he actually finished the movie where Luke doesn't die. He's staring off but into the distance as he does in the movie, but he doesn't die. He's still there at the end. Now that sets it up in the final movie. Rian Johnson could have still had all his bullshit that he had in The Last Jedi, but without killing Luke, and we could have had him in the final movie instead of just as a Force ghost cameo. So 100% he should have they should have made that change, and it wouldn't have been a big edit to make, and an amateur video editor has done a really good job of pulling that off. So yeah, I think they should have done that.
I think it's the fan base is constantly showing Disney up, isn't it, for what it can achieve with real passion. I think really
better editing, better writing, better deep fakes, better coffee.
The thing is, they had well, it's American coffee. It'll be like piss. They had 11 months to sort this.
Mm-hmm.
All they had to do was literally just that scene where he disappears and his robe just falls to the ground. Just that one scene, just remove that. They could keep the rest of it. I just don't get it. I just think at that moment, I think that was the moment where we talked on Monday about the lightsaber going over the edge of the cliff. I think looking back now, that probably wasn't the moment where it died. It was literally where they had the 11 months to decide what they were going to do. And all it required was a 1 minute scene to be removed. But they didn't. And I think that was the moment. As a normie, I'm a normie who, as I said, I like Star Trek. And as I've said previously, Star Wars for me is a Brucey bonus. I like both, but I'm Star Trek. But even I knew that just that 1 minute could have been left out. And then the last film was something totally different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow. I can feel the emotion in the room.
Silence.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree, and I think genuinely, I think it makes it a little bit sad because you're right. We could have had something other than the chaos that we got in the Rise of Skywalker, and I know you want to move on and talk a bit about that, but yeah, I think look, how bad must Mark Hamill feel? I mean, all the hype for The Force Awakens, and he literally gets to turn around and stare, down on Rey, and that's it. That's the full extent of his involvement. The Last Jedi, he must have been itching to get on set and do his thing, and he's asked to milk a space cow. Gets put on his arse by Rey. Take part in a hologram lightsaber battle, which doesn't really happen, and then disappear like a hot fart. That it's the poor guy, and then that's it, and yeah, he gets a Force Ghost appearance in Rise of Skywalker, but yeah, I think if he could have thrown us a bone, Ryan, he could have just done that one little thing. But I think it's all about ego at the guy, and he wanted to be the guy who killed off Luke.
I was just going to say it probably was his backer, as it were, and we all know who she is. I think
Kill the
if
patriarchy.
Fav had been in charge, I think
If
it
pigs
would
had
have been
wings, they could fly.
yeah, I think it'd have been totally different. Don't you, Swap Shop?
Well, you just made me think about Abrams's plan that he had for the trilogy that he left behind when he moved on and left Episode 7 behind and moved it, gave the reins over. And it came out like a short while ago that he wrote a completely different story, and the framework was there. And before it was just, it was just said that Rian Johnson was just creating this story because there was nothing to go from.
He was a Star Wars guy, wasn't he, Abrams?
Well,
Abrams.
so he says.
So he says, Han Solo's my favourite character. That's why he went out like a punk bitch in the first hour. Whatever.
Maybe again, it was pressure from Ford.
It was. I think. I've read this plan as well, and it does sound quite legit. It doesn't sound like someone could have just made it up in 5 minutes. It does sound quite legit, and it fits in perfectly with everything from Episode 7. So I do have to wonder if it was all thrown out because Kathy thought, oh no, Luke's looking like too much of a hero here. My perfect Mary Sue self-insert isn't centering attention, and she gets time traveled off to some other distant past planet or whatever. I think it was someone interfering because it actually sounded genuinely like it could work. And then you get all these rumors saying, Rian Johnson didn't have there was no plan to go from, so he just ended up writing his own movie, and he started halfway through the production for Episode 7, and then you've got all these people laying into J.J. Abrams by saying, well, you can't blame Rian Johnson for doing what he did because J.J. Abrams set up such a crap scenario for him to follow on. It's like, well, actually, no, there was a plan, clearly, but they decided to completely throw it away and give Rian Johnson free reign to do whatever he wanted, which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
They broke the first rule of Write Club. Never let Rian Johnson write the middle of any trilogy ever.
Only they'd listen to you, Courtney.
Exactly. I mean, I hadn't written it at that point, but that's no excuse, is it? They should have time traveled. Ridiculous.
Courtney, do you have any thoughts about, the Skywalker leaving him in or taking him out?
Yeah, I have. What, do you want to hear him? Yeah, well,
ideally, yes.
Really basic. To me, I was rethinking it as recently as just before we came on the call. And basically, Star Wars to me is Han, Luke, and Leia, and Chewie, and R2, and 3PO, and maybe Lando too. But, without them, it's not Star Wars. I don't give a fuck about the prequels, let alone the sequels. It's all bollocks, even if they were well made, which they're not. The only thing I like about the sequel tragedy, as Swap Shop calls it, copyright Swap Shop, is that it is such an amazing clusterfuck. It is a perfect storm of shite. It is a dumpster fire wrapped up in a shit sandwich, wrapped up in a... I can't be bothered coming up with another metaphor because, that's the Rian Johnson school of writing, isn't it? Yeah, it's so incredibly crap that we're still talking about it now. Yeah. I'm impressed with the badness.
I think that's why he did what he did, because he's already admitted, haven't you, Ruin, you bastard, that he wants half of the audience to love it, half the audience to hate it. And he's also admitted publicly that he's absolutely no good at writing. We've seen these in video countless times, and they're all on YouTube if anyone wants to go and reference them. But it's like
I can't write. I don't know how to do it. I don't like doing it. I just make words up.
It was planned sabotage from the start. He came in knowing that Star Wars was this epic thing loved by so many people, and it was held to such lofty regard, and everyone just treated it almost, deified it. And he came in, rubbed his hands together, and thought, basically that's it. Yeah. Hence Ruin's avatar right now.
Well, at this point, I can give you a little insight into my interview with Kathleen Kennedy for the position of writer and director. So basically, it just consists of a few short questions. The first one was,
Could you hear her?
Mr. Johnson, can you write a great script? To which I said no. And they said, so Mr. Johnson, can you please our entire audience? To which I said, well, no, just half of them probably. And they said, great, you've got the job. Well done. You've got the job. You've got the movie. There you go. There's the entire balance of the Star Wars franchise in your round little hands. So yes.
I'm surprised you could hear her with her thighs around your ears. Allegedly. Just a theory and a fervent prayer.
I just thought then it was almost like dominoes falling in the
Pizza?
Trilogy.
Oh,
Showed
up late.
Han Solo. Yeah, no pizza. Han Solo was the first domino to fall in the first film.
Well, Ray showing up. That was the first one. Hello,
Yeah,
I'm Ray.
and then-
I'm going to steal everything.
The thing is, the second main domino to go down could have been saved, but as we said, they decided to keep the. And I think, to be fair, I think that is the shame about the film, that they had the time. They had the time to address it, and they didn't.
I think the highlight of the lowlights is wanking off a manatee. I still think that's really where it all went south.
Right. So
allegedly.
So bombshell.
Yeah. So as we said, the film was out December 2017. Carrie Fisher, God rest her soul, died December 2016. So yeah.
We still miss you, Carrie.
Yeah. I know she went. It is a genuine shame on many levels, but anyway, it's just one of those things, guys. So yeah, they had their opportunity and they fucked it up effectively.
Cow's ass banjo.
Yeah. So shall we quickly go into the rise of Soy Walker and then we'll do the Shill stuff? Yes.
Yes, let's skip through it like Poe skipped through the different planets at the start of the opening sequence.
Okay. Okay. What I will do is I'll just I'll read my notes and then we'll just chew it over for maybe 10 minutes and then we'll get straight into the Shill stuff. So
it's way more preparation than I put into writing The Last Jedi, I must say.
Somebody's got to be prepared and professional, my friend. You could learn a lot from me, even at my level. So, Rise of Soy Walker. JJ wrote it as the anti-Last Jedi. Yes, no?
I'd agree with that.
Right, we'll leave it at that. John
Oh, that's subverting
Boyega.
expectations. No answer. Wow. That is next level subversion.
That was me at my finest moment of presenting, so on 48 minutes. John Boyega didn't do much.
Ray! Ray! Ray!
Well, what I will say about your previous question and what JJ managed to do.
I think we'd answered that one, mate.
Okay. Well, I mean, JJ.
Yeah, go for it.
He managed to unbelievably, like, if we're saying Rian Johnson pissed off half the fan base, somehow JJ managed to piss off both halves of the fan base. You know, he in trying to maybe please everyone, he actually pleased no one.
Please nobody.
Yeah. So
fucked off the Raylos.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think someone said it in the chat. It might have been Lanky in the chat. I can't remember, but someone said it was revealed just recently that Rian Johnson had no idea that Ben was going to be killed off. He had basically no idea what JJ was planning.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. No idea who Ben was. No idea who Luke was.
So John Boyega, who we had a lot of hope for, didn't really do much, did he? Then
no,
he was shortchanged on this one, wasn't he?
Totally.
If you think about it, I mean, from the first trailer for The Force Awakens, I was so pumped. Just to see a stormtrooper with the helmet off, and this guy in the desert, and I was so pumped for that. I thought, wow, where's this going? And even in the opening, the escape with Poe, and you start getting some of the backstory, and I thought, wow, this got potential, and there's no doubt about it. The way it was marketed, that there was an intention for the Boyega character to be some force sensitive or some potential with the force. There's no doubt about it. They teased that, and then it was just systematically just dismantled across the next two films. He was basically ridiculed in The Last Jedi, and then, like you say, he was horrendously underused. And we know he had a lot to juggle, JJ, in the last movie, but this is meant to be one of the three core characters, and he did nothing with it.
Let's not forget his image was reduced on the Chinese poster as well.
Ooh.
Wow.
Just to put the boot in.
Yeah, Disney, who stands for no nonsense and supports diversity and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we kind of feel a little bit sorry for John, which I don't blame him, to be honest. He did get shortchanged. Space horses.
Spacey horses.
Oh, wow.
You've already done space
horses.
Well, yeah. Well, just when you thought space horses were bad enough in The Last Jedi, somehow JJ has them galloping across the wing of a spaceship.
Cannons to the left of them, stormtroopers to the right.
If only the First Order were clever enough to know just to slightly tilt the wing of the spacecraft, then all the space horses
fall off.
Yeah. That was quite unbelievable, actually. Yeah.
Do you know what? That's a big point. That means that with the bombs, they used gravity when there was no gravity, and then in this film, they didn't use gravity when they could have used gravity.
Well, maybe they had magnets on their hooves. Who knows?
That was it. Magnets on the hooves.
So my next point: Rey was the grandchild of Palp.
Go on, Demon.
Palpatine. I think this is this is the main point of the film, isn't it? This, for me. Go on, Demon.
She was supposed to be, Ruin set her up to be a nobody, right? And in the first film, it kind of looked like she was going to be related to somebody, or she had something to do with somebody that was already established in the Star Wars universe. And then Ruin came in and made The Last Jedi and decided to actually make her nobody because it had never been properly addressed. So, he made her just daughter of some junk traders who were drunk, completely drunks. And then
drunk
to anybody, drunk traders, wasn't related to actually anybody at all worthy of being a Jedi or being a Force user ever before in Star Wars. So as another subversion right there. And everyone was thinking, oh, who's she related to? Whose daughter is she? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in and say she's nobody, and that's how she's going to be. So, everyone then suddenly thought nobody, and then so everyone got let down because of the fact that she was nobody. And then all the shills and the sycophants they all came out saying, "Oh no, I actually love that idea. I love the idea that anybody could be a Jedi. You don't have to be related to royalty, or you don't have to be like." Well, no one ever needed that before ever once in Star Wars. If you were force sensitive, you had the opportunity that you could progress and become a Jedi, no matter who your parents were or where you were born. It didn't matter. But Ruin really wanted to make her nobody, so Palpatine just wasn't on the cards at all. Palpatine was off the table completely in The Last Jedi, and the only way they could sort of make the character of Rey work, because they're so creatively bankrupt and inept. In the third film, they just decided to drag Palpatine in because Ruin killed off the main villain because he again subvert those expectations. Ruin.
We didn't even mention that, did we? Snoke,
and we've got
getting bombed. Yes.
Yeah, we've got Emo Kid in his place, which is just ridiculous.
Emo Kid.
How is he in any way intimidating, other than the fact that he's probably going to throw a tantrum and pull his posters off his bedroom wall?
Exactly. I will go home and listen to Chemical Romance.
And so you can't really take it seriously at all going forwards. And I think this is the point when I realised that to Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm were not taking this seriously at all. and they just were looking to completely disassemble and deconstruct everything. And it left nothing for the next film. So when Rise of Skywalker came around, they were left with no choice. They were in panic mode, and they just thought, "Oh shit, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I know Ian McDiarmid's still available. Let's get him in and do Palpatine. There are some expanded universe books with him coming back or something like that. Was there? Yeah. Whatever. Let's do that." So that was. And this is one of the reasons why it was such a hodgepodge mash of junk that didn't make any sense whatsoever, like some kind of a million-piece jigsaw puzzle that had been hammered together in the wrong way, with pieces facing the wrong way around and back to front. And it just didn't make any sense whatsoever. And it was
mashed
all
up with another jigsaw puzzle made out of an old pizza.
Yeah, it was all off the back of what Ruin did
with pineapple.
So, yeah. And hey, I love pineapple. Thank you.
Me too.
It was. I just.
So do I.
I was watching Rise of Skywalker. Minorities, and basically I just wonder what Rian Johnson is actually thinking when he's obviously going to watch it. I'd love to know his thoughts of watching this film because
there was some kind of direct digs as well, wasn't there? If I remember. Yeah,
he just did everything that he had tried to achieve with that film. And I will just in the absence of knowing what at the time of watching the Rise of Skywalker what he was thinking, I'd like to ask him now.
Well, what I would say to that is give me episode 10 so I can fuck JJ over and we'll just keep this battle going on endlessly. Yes. It will be like Luke v Palpatine, but Ruin versus JJ. We'll just keep making films and changing it all up. Personally, I was watching Rise of Skywalker and I saw them wheel out old 89-year-old Billy D. Williams because there's fucking no one else left to use. And all I thought was, when are they going to kill him off? And I was bitterly disappointed that they didn't take the opportunity to kill another legendary character.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well done. That's the
We'll quickly just finish off Rise of Skywalker. Kiss scene, Kylo Ren, Rey. Fuck knows where that came from.
Oh.
Well,
no probing tongues. Why were there no probing tongues?
Somebody... Better Caller 7 Mad said Kylo is Rey's uncle.
Is he?
That's got something to do with the comics, I think.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, so it's incestual kiss then.
That's very interesting. Even
more
reason for them to get it on.
Okay.
That's a Star Wars tradition.
Homage to
Are you
George.
related? You must have sex.
Ancestral. Very nice. Okay, so...
it was written in the comics that Palpatine... somehow conjured up Anakin in Shmi's womb with dark side magic. So therefore, Anakin is kind of Palpatine's son, which then makes Luke Palpatine's grandson, and then makes Kylo Ren his great grandson, I think. So then, since Rey is his granddaughter, yeah, you can work that one out for yourself. I can't be bothered.
So that's why they didn't have probing tongues. It was just a friendly kiss.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Slavko, good one.
10,000.
Slavko's on form.
Force kissing. Oh, Slavko, you are a one.
10,000 Star Destroyers.
Copy paste.
They couldn't fly up.
All with the power of the Death Star as well, wasn't it?
I think, should we just leave it at that?
Well, the comment I would make to that is Leia must feel like a right piece of shit because when she made desperate pleas in The Last Jedi for help and no one answered the pleas, fast forward to the Rise of Skywalker and the entire fucking galaxy turns up to help them out. So, yeah Leia must have felt desperately overlooked, but obviously by that point she was dead anyway. So,
oh yeah, because there was the 10,000 Imperial Star Destroyers, then all the ships from the rebellion
from everywhere
turned up. Yeah.
Well, classic JJ, creatively bankrupt. Just basically do it bigger or make more of them.
Throw it all in.
JJ's way. So we've had a Death Star. Let's have an even bigger Death Star. We've had 50 ships. Let's have 50 million. And Christ knows if he made any more movies where he'd go with it. I don't know.
Okay, so we'll just finish off for the last minute on the Star Wars stuff. My last point was Rey adopted the Skywalker name. So effectively,
adopted.
This was the final.
movie, wasn't
this
it?
was the final insult of the
Oh,
new trilogy on 1 hour. This was the final insult, wasn't it?
I like to think it was the punchline
Of a very bad joke.
of a very long draw. Like we sat in a pub and there's this wasted old fart just droning on, and you think, get to the fucking punchline, and 6.5 hours later he delivers it, and yeah, that's what we
For
are.
Ray
I've never
Skywalker.
I've never seen the air sucked out of the cinema, and yeah, just people getting up, leaving, laughing, but not in a amused sense, just in a what have I just wasted my time and money on? Yeah, it was pretty horrendous, wasn't it? It was absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes it feels as though he was trying to outdo Rian Johnson for who could come up with the most, ridiculous aspect to a Star Wars movie.
I like the way the twin sons of Tatooine look like BB-8, which is like a completely meaningless visual metaphor that signifies absolutely nothing. Brilliant. Oh, look. BB-8
Cheers,
looks
Brian.
Like
It's Brian Young.
He's raising a glass to the trilogy.
Yes, Brian Young. He's now known as Brian Skywalker, by the way.
I'm Skywalker.
So, right. Okay. This is. I thought we were going to take half an hour on that, but an hour later. Why
you say that to all the girls.
Jeez. Right. Okay. So let's.
I was having such a good time. We just kept
I know.
going.
It was like the Canto
Ironically-
bite sequence. It just went on and on and on forever, and completely pointless.
This is the Kento Biter broadcast. It will change nothing. It will have no impact on anything. But we had a good time, and all the tea milk you can drink. I know it's a different.
Yeah.
scene. Never mind.
So the previous 2.5 hours of stream time is leading up to this one moment. This is the final act. This is Act 3. Did you like that?
Ooh,
Mm.
nice.
Trilogy.
Real nice.
Yeah, certainly had more
Um,
planning than the Disney trilogy.
I know. I will just say all the photographs are in the public domain that I've taken from Twitter, from the relevant people's profile. Yeah, if we could, as long as we keep this professional, guys, I'm more than happy with anything that's said. So, if that's okay.
At this point, I'll leave the stream, so I'll wish you all goodbye and farewell.
Okay, so this is Shill Wars, and I do believe this is year 3. So my question to you, Ruin, is where did the idea come from for Shill Wars? This would have been what, 2 years ago now? 2.5 years ago.
This is where I got my infamy. So basically, we, after The Last Jedi, we saw a clear divide in the fandom, in the Star Wars fandom. We saw the people like ourselves and many other like-minded, intelligent people who thought it was absolute tosh, an insult to the franchise, the fans, the actors. And then you had this other ridiculous section of the fan base who treated Rian Johnson like the Emperor's New Clothes. This short, round-headed, naked man walking around, and they're all bowing down, telling me looks fantastic. So it was clear. I mean, in the reason I used the pun "shill" in Shill Wars, it was clear that actually quite a lot of them were not given honest reviews, and you can see this in the Rotten Tomatoes scores. The audience rating for The Last Jedi, I think, is the lowest of all the Star Wars movies, which is around about the 42% mark. I imagine it would actually be a lot lower because it's been proven. There's many videos out there on it, proven that there's a lot of
corruption,
bot accounts
cheating.
used to try and bump it up. But
that was.
But then the critic score was incredibly high. It was something like 92%, I think, and it was clear. Yeah, such a disparity. It just seems completely out of step. It was clear that a lot of the critics gave this movie a high score because Disney's so powerful. It was crucial point in the movie saga. Everything was resting on it. They had these anthology movies coming out, all the merchandise, and it was clear that a lot of critics were basically corralled into putting in favorable reviews. And we have like the chap on screen, Brian Young, who has one of the bigger Star Wars podcasts, and many other personalities who just suck up brown nose Rian Johnson or all the rest of them. They don't give honest look. If you want to like it, fine. But
Yeah.
to come out with some of the absolute horseshit they do in defense of it. So that was the inspiration. I thought it's time to call these people out, and let's do it in a fun way, and let's create a bracket tournament where they can go against each other, and the fans can vote on who is the biggest shill.
For the
Brilliant.
folks at home, a shill is effectively somebody who's paid, or somebody who's a professional brown noser, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it's expanded beyond that over the years. I mean it's a nice pun, but it's expanded beyond that into just a Disney lunatic and someone who just sees no ill in any of the Disney Star Wars stuff. But look, there's no doubt about it. Some of these people, like your man on screen there, he may not have been paid directly, but he's certainly given, because he brags about it on Twitter, free copies of books in advance, pre-publication, free tickets to Galaxy's Edge. I'm not joking here. Access to Star Wars Celebration. So there are definitely perks if you're willing to suck up to the mouse. Then there are perks to it. So this was just my, again, via the art of satire. It was just my way of having a bit of fun and calling them out, and they didn't like it. In fact, a lot of people got angry.
You've had previous with the said gentleman, haven't you?
Yeah. So there's videos on that, and if anyone's interested, check out the Ruin the Man Baby YouTube channel, particularly the
Brian's
first.
just popped up in the chat as well.
Oh, Brian!
Timing's everything.
Timing.
Can I just say
everything?
Give Brian Young that one, not the real one, but give Brian Young, who's just turned it up in the chat. He spells it, I don't know if you noticed, with the small b and then Ryan. Yeah. Give him a follow on Twitter. He's really, really funny account. One of my favorites, and he's a really good guy. But so I have history with Brian because off the back of the first Shill Wars, which Brian won. He was coming out with the most ridiculous shit. He was constantly in the mentions of Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson would reply back to him, and that get him all giddy and excited. Oh, just saying how it was the most incredible movie ever. Brian sees himself as a bit of a writer as well, you see. So he likes to kind of justify some of the shit that Rian Johnson comes up with. And it's frankly ridiculous. But yeah, he took exception to the heat he got. People found it funny. And he was voted the winner. He beat Jason Ward, I think it was, in the first final. And yeah, Brian, as a result, a direct result of that, tried to dox me. Again, I was operating anonymously as Ruin, just having a bit of fun with a parody account. He tried to dox me, reveal my real identity. He contacted a couple of my former employers, which were writing conventions, including the London Comic Con, and tried to get me barred from attending in future. So it was pretty nasty, actually, all for a bit of fun.
But you came from out of the wilderness and revealed yourself.
I did.
Get the advantage back.
Yeah. I thought, screw this guy. I'm not gonna let him, kind of scare me. I mean, in a weird kind of way, and I don't want to draw comparisons with myself and Gina Carano because the scale is just nowhere near. But in a weird kind of way, I kind of had a glimpse into what she must be going through, only on a much larger scale. Because
I can imagine.
Yeah, they're trying to cancel me, and they're still trying to do it today. They're trying to get my account banned. They're trying to shut me down, shut me up. Frighten me, and it ain't gonna happen. I have a blast with Ruin the Man Baby. I think it's they've got a really simple thing they can do, and it's they can just not read my tweets.
There you
Indeed,
go.
unfollow
It's
you.
a
Yes.
very simple thing, but the exposure these guys give me is incredible. And every time I run Shill Wars, I get hundreds, sometimes thousands more followers. And yeah, it's so Brian was the winner. The first year was a much smaller bracket actually, and it expanded for subsequent years as obviously the amount of shills expanded. But yeah, the man on screen is
how do people vote? Is it from your community or
Twitter poll. So it's
Right.
open to everyone.
so it's
Twitter.
polled, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's a Twitter poll for those who no, not everyone is, but for those on Twitter, you just got yeah, it's something you vote on. I'd run it for 24 hours, and they pick whoever they think is the biggest shill out of the two,
Right, I
and
get
then
you.
the winner moves to the next round, and we go through the bracket, and we get our two finalists and eventual winner. Yeah, and Brian, the man on screen, great place to start because he not only won the first year, but even the expanded second year, we moved from 8 to 16 competitors.
Wow.
And he came out on top again. This guy, the #1 shill, beating off people like Chuck Wendig. I don't know if you'll be familiar with Chuck
Brian
Wendig,
Young
but
beat off Chuck Wendig. That
he
is
beat
new.
off Chuck Wendig. Yeah.
Wow.
I've got a list of names, so we'll go through them. Yes. So
He beat them all off. He's a busy boy.
I would feel upset that I didn't win it for the third year and get to
thought
keep
you
the
didn't-
trophy.
I thought you were going to say you're upset because
I
you
was
didn't get beaten
actually
off.
surprised. I had him down to at least make the final. In my own head, I thought I knew Star Wars Explained would do well. The way they reacted during the tournament kind of really helped them win it. But I thought it'd be a Star Wars Explained Brian Young final. I was shocked that Brian Young bombed out in round 1 against
Really?
Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah.
Dog. Hey, that's my dog.
Would you, if Brian won, would you have produced a medal or a trophy for him and found out where it is, just to rub it in?
The first year I did it, and look, if you want to call this harassment, I just think you're being overly sensitive. But the first year I did it, I did say, I think at the time, I said, "Can someone please let Brian know I've got the Shill Wars trophy for him to collect?" And and he may have got one or two people then just contact him saying, "Brian, where can Ruin send you the Brown Nose Award?"
Jeez.
Which is this large brown nose mounted on a plaque. So yeah, I guess that maybe upset him a little bit. But look, it's Twitter,
It is.
We're having a bit of fun here, and you know what? He's got the ability to absolutely tear me to shreds back if he wants. But as we know, these people take offense in everything, have zero sense of humor, and
No humor.
Just want to shut everything down. And comedy will be the next thing. In fact, it's already going that way, isn't it? I mean,
we've always said that. I've always said when people stop taking the piss out of you, that's the time to worry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
love.
And Rian Johnson should actually be. There's quite a lot of parody accounts on Twitter, but Rian Johnson should be. In a way, it's what did he say? I can't remember the exact saying, but it's satire is a form of compliment, and the fact it's a near 10,000 follower account. I'm sure there's a lot of parody accounts out there, but he should be proud of that his persona attracts so much interest.
Yeah. Shall we move on from year 1 winner?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Hopefully my technology will. This is exciting. Chuck Wendig.
Oh,
that's
nice
all I can
icon.
find. Chuck Wendig.
He's lost a bit of weight.
Chuck Wendig. Oh wow. Chuck Wendig is a certified lunatic. He, for those who don't know him, and the ones who are into the Star Wars will definitely know him. He was actually an employee of Disney Lucasfilm. He wrote some of the early novels, the Aftermath series of novels, which if you ever want a good laugh, you should check him out. Some of the lines he wrote, which I'm not taking the piss here. He actually wrote lines such as "The TIE fighter dove wibbly wobbly through the air," and this is in a serious 450-page novel. This
Nice.
So Chuck Wendig, famous for creating the first kind of gay kind of sex scene in a Star Wars novel as well. I'm not joking. This is what we got.
Was there a Wookiee involved?
Space Wizards film for children, everyone. And then Chuck really gained notoriety because he gets very political on Twitter, and he's gone on some really nasty political rants and gets very sweary. And in the end, Marvel fired him. He was fired. He was doing a lot of the Darth Vader comics, and they fired him because of his conduct. So and that takes some doing when you're on the other side of the fandom. So yeah, wow. Chuck, I did if anyone's interested on my Ruin the Man Baby channel, I did a whole tribute song to Chuck Wendig, and he reacted to it, and we had a bit of backwards and forwards actually. Yeah, Chucky didn't like my tribute to him.
He didn't like your wibbly wobbly tribute.
No. Demon, you must have come across a bit of Chucky Wendig in your time.
Oh, good Lord! Oh my God, the guy. I read the Aftermath trilogy, right? Well, I say I read it. I had it on audio, and at the time, I only had half my attention because I was listening to it at work. So I thought it was all right. I thought, well, it's like a little gap filler between films and stuff, you know. And I even when episode 8 got released, and I couldn't believe what I'd seen. I saw Chuck Wendig online on Twitter because I was kind of searching for like minds at the time, and Chuck Wendig was the author of the book, and I thought I'd find him and see what he's saying about it, because I thought surely he's not going to agree with what Rian Johnson's done, you know, because the books were actually, I mean, they weren't great, but at least they made sense. And it didn't kind of take anything away from Star Wars, if you like. So I got on there and I thought, right, this is going to be interesting to find out what he thinks. And I wrote him a message. I said, you know, you must be completely incensed at what you've just witnessed in the cinema. You know, at least your books are actually coherent to some degree. And I didn't actually hear, when I listened to the first time, I didn't hear the wibbly wobbly thing that he said about the TIE fighter sort of herkly jerkily flying through I didn't hear that. I didn't hear it. So when I heard about it reported on, I thought, huh? I don't remember this in the story. What the hell? And then I heard more people sort of talking and ruminating over what had been in the books, and all this. There was LGBT plus characters. There was like the subversion of the patriarchy, all this sort of stuff, and I didn't spot it at the time. I was so stupid I didn't spot it, and I didn't get a reply back from Chuck Wendig because it was just before when he started reacting to everyone throwing insults at The Last Jedi. He must have been involved, you know, with that kind of attack on Star Wars to some degree. This kind of like soy attack on Star Wars to some degree. This like coordinated assault on it. So that's why he didn't reply to me. But I actually was complimenting him at the time, you know. So I thought he might have responded favorably, but I didn't get anything back. So I think he must have thought, "Oh shit, how do I on this? Yeah, what do I do? What am I against it? Am I for it? Oh, I'm just going to go with what Kathleen told me to say." And he just, you know, ended up being on the side of all this shite Star Wars, defending it, and then getting to a point where he just achieved critical mass and exploded at the fandom with all these insults, and then end up getting cancelled, you know.
So if it's okay, he's fired from Marvel. I don't know whether he's locked his Twitter account. He's been banned from Twitter. Yeah, he's. I mean, if I could give you a quick example, is that okay? I can read you a couple of his tweets. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I'll do it in the Ruin voice. So Chuck Wendig. And here we go. Winter is coming, you callous fucknecks, you prolapsed arseholes, you grotesque monsters, you racists and rapists and wretched abusers, you vengeful petty horrors. And then he couldn't fit it all in one tweet, so he followed it up with, they can eat shit, all of them. They can eat a boot covered in shit. And there's Chuck Wendig.
Oh my God, what a masterwork. That was better than his novels.
Sounds like a letter to Hollywood.
That is very good on certain levels.
He's
you
good
can
at
tell
insult.
the education. You can tell the education behind it. Yeah. Shall
Yeah,
we
it was
move
all
on?
it was all caps lock, by the way, as well. So he's
Oh,
clearly raging when he
Caps
wrote
lock
it.
for anger.
I'll take it all back. Shall we move on?
Please.
Please.
So that was Chuck Wendig.
What's the relevance of the skeleton? What was that all about?
That's, as I said,
That's his career. That's what's left of it. Bare bones.
to kind of keep it fair, what I've done was I looked for all the Twitter avatars. So when I downloaded the picture, because I'm really lazy, you see, the pictures would be at 400 pixels.
Right.
So it just makes it easier when you're presenting it on screen. So anyway,
Yeah. Who's this one then?
this is Coffee with Kenobi.
Oh,
Yeah. So
He drinks
coffee with Kenobi were not scheduled to be one of the 16 competitors this year. There's a bit of a story behind this, and if anything, I hope this I'll share it with you, and I hope this reveals that I'm not an absolute piece of shit troll. This is just a bit of fun, and the reason they were put in as kind of a last minute wild card is Adam Lance Garcia was originally in it, and I actually had, and a lot of people had Adam down as a potential winner this year because he is notorious for really sucking up to Rian Johnson and Disney and the rest of it. Now, he did have one early match, Adam Lance Garcia, and he won it easily. And like I say, he was scheduled to do pretty well. It was then shared with me because obviously I don't get to see any of these people's Twitter accounts. Someone alerted me to the fact he'd had a bit of a personal bereavement. So I just thought, look, it's it's all a bit of fun, but there's times like this, you just people, we don't want to, I don't have fun at someone when they're going through a time like that. So I withdrew Adam out of the competition, and we put in Coffee with Kenobi. They're a podcast. Might have a YouTube channel as well. But they've. I think they were. I put a shout out on Twitter. Said, look, we need a wild card replacement, and they were suggested that Coffee with Kenobi would be
the orange goes very well with my screen colours.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So this was a last moment's replacement, is what you're saying?
Yeah, late replacement, and they actually didn't do too well. Like they couldn't cut it with the heavyweights, so not much more to report.
There's always next year.
There's plenty of time for them to ramp up the shill worthiness.
So are they very basement level for the shilling at the moment then?
I would say so. Yeah, they don't quite have the notoriety, but yeah, they're getting there.
So they're more of instant coffee with Kenobi.
Yeah, more of like a kind of a decaf that's gone past its sell by date.
Decaf instant with Kenobi. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, with soy milk, obviously.
With soy milk.
That's gone off.
Very big.
Okay. So shall we move on from there? Right.
Yeah, we do. They don't deserve any more time, in all honesty.
This is Eckhart's Ladder.
Oh, Eckhart's Ladder.
Oh,
I had a running with Eckhart's Ladder. Oh, blimey.
Do you want to go first, Matt?
Oh, yeah, please.
I was just going to say, I think I posted something on one of his tweets. I think I replied to something about, oh God, it's so long ago now. It was weeks and weeks back. I wish I could remember what it was, but I honestly can't remember. It may have been something to do with the Mandalorian, but he replied back and sort of with some snide remark, and then I replied back to him again, and he couldn't argue. So he kind of backpedaled on his argument and said, "Oh, why don't you just come over onto my live stream and we'll all sit and be Star Wars fans together and have a laugh?" And I was like, "Oh, jeez." And but meanwhile, while he was doing that, all his sort of little followers were ganging up against me with their torches and pitchforks. So yeah, that was my run-in with him, and he hasn't spoken to me since, which is fine by me.
I have a correction actually. I can't even remember my own goddamn tournament. Yeah, these shills are all spout the same bullshit, so it's often easy to mix them up. It was Eckhart's Ladder who was the wild card replacement. Coffee with Kenobi was a genuine entrance. He was beaten by Adam Lance Garcia, but then it was Eckhart's Ladder who was the replacement for Adam Lance Garcia, and that was after I asked for suggestions. He was particularly vocal at the time, so everyone was saying, "Oh, put Eckhart's Ladder in; it'll be funny." I put him in a 4-way death match, and he won it. And actually, did quite well. He not only won the 4-way death match, he then beat the Geek Girl Diva in the next round and made it to the semi-final. So, yeah, good effort from Eckhart. Yeah.
Any comments or any quotes from them, or should we just move on?
Yeah, let's move on. We've got bigger fish to fry.
I know we'll just kind of slowly get into the big boys, aren't we? So
Yeah.
Keep climbing, Eckhart. Bottom of the ladder, mate.
Yeah.
Here you go, Cockney. This one's for you.
Oh, here we go.
Is it JC himself?
Give Cockney the airtime on this one.
Oh, my man. He tweeted me. He's my dog. Still waiting for a response to my next one, though.
Oh, God,
For the folks at home, Cockney, who is it?
That is my dog, Freddie Prinz, a.k.a. from the Mystery Machine himself.
Dude, bro.
Dude, bro, dog. I knew Star Wars before you did, dog.
Yo, bro. Come on, bro. Yo, dog. Come on. Star Wars is for fucking kids. Excuse me?
Yeah. No, he is a funny guy.
Is that what he said?
He's generally witty because I tweeted him saying that you're the least cool person on Twitter. So he tweeted back, "No, you are." Just brilliant. That is just tickled me. I don't know how he meant it, but he put a smile on my face. So shout out to Freddie.
Well, shining wit right there.
Yeah, so Freddie, again, I've had a bit of engagement with Freddie in the past as well. But Freddie was famous for he did a podcast maybe a year or two ago, where frankly he appeared drunk on the podcast. It's somewhere on YouTube as well. And his quote was, he went on this rant against what he called dude bros who are mad because the franchise isn't aging with them. And he just seemed to think all us, older hardcore Star Wars fans are just, stuck in our ways and get with the times. And for this, sad old actor who's done fuck all for Christ knows how long, apart from a bit of voiceover work. We don't need your hot takes, Freddie. But Freddie beat Chuck. Am I right? Let me check my bracket. No, Freddie beat Brian Young in the first round.
Wow.
So that was
speaking of Brian Young, in the chat, what a bell end.
It still hurts. It's still fresh.
Well done, Brian.
So Freddie had a good result in the first round.
Yeah, well done,
but he ultimately fell to Pablo in the semi-final.
Okay, so we'll move on from Freddie.
Well, Freddie's the only one out of the group that's got an official invite onto my channel, even though I am still waiting for an official response. Geezer.
Okay.
Freddie, I'll also extend the invite. I know Freddie fancies himself as a bit of a mixed martial artist. Freddie, if you're ever over in the UK, I'll happily enter the octagon with you. I'll wear my Ruin mask and my underpants. I am a proponent of jiu-jitsu, so I'll happily crank on your skinny 57-year-old neck. So that's an official call out to Freddie Prinze Jr.
You heard it here, folks.
May one get in on that action? I've got a black belt in origami.
How bizarre would that be? We had the Jake Pauls and everything else. A Rian Johnson parody account versus a washed-up actor from the 90s. That's the YouTube match you didn't know you wanted.
I'll host it. That'd be amazing. That would. I'm sure we'd get 20 viewers for that.
So the jiu-jitsu pads are obviously where they came from. The little closing video of your video.
Yeah. Oh, good spot. Yeah, good spot. Yeah. If you see any of my videos, I do a little shadow boxing sequence with the MMA gloves on. Yeah, that's right.
The next one is Geek Girl Diva.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, at what point do you have to stop calling yourself a girl? I mean, you've got to progress to woman or lady or something. But yeah, she. So in fairness, she's been around since the original Shill Wars. She can be a nasty piece of work, although not to the extent old Renfamous is. But yeah, she's just one of these who holds up the fanboy tears mugs and just nasty and ranty about anyone who didn't like The Last Jedi or the Disney movies. But yeah, this year she like I say, she was bounced out by Eckhart Ladder. So yeah, although she's done well previously, she may have.
She's on her way out.
She may not even make the cut. She's got to raise the game. She may not make the cut in Shill Wars 2022.
Okay, so we'll leave her then. Right. So, hello, Guido.
Yeah, hello, Guido.
Nice.
Have you had any interaction with Hello Guido, Demon?
Not directly, no. I think when I was first kind of getting online to sort of search for solace after The Last Jedi, I did come across his channel on YouTube because obviously he's got a Stormtrooper helmet on that he wears for the entire videos that he does.
Yeah.
And I knew him from his icon as I was going through Twitter. Obviously, he was just coming up in Star Wars discussion, so I saw him. But after what he was saying in support of the movie, that was it. I just, no, pass him by. Do not engage at all. So no, luckily, no direct contact.
Yeah, he's got his little gang of minions, and whenever we've interacted in the past, he likes to direct them towards me. And yeah, he's got quite a big YouTube channel actually, but yeah, he's come out with some absolute tosh in defense of The Last Jedi.
Examples?
Well, does he realise that isn't Greedo? That's a Stormtrooper.
Yeah, it's a confusing branding, frankly, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. What's
yeah.
up there?
I mean, you go hello Stormtrooper, or put the Greedo mask on, but don't confuse it like that.
I'll just use Brian's previous comments.
He hasn't even got Rhodian hands.
What a bell end!
Another bell end.
Yeah.
Nice one, Brian.
Keep Brian up on the screen there, I think, couldn't you, for the entire thing?
So
yeah.
He must have a tiny little
yeah, keep him up there. Hello, Greedo.
He must have a tiny pinhead. Sorry, guys.
Bounced out in the very opening match, but it was to the eventual winners. Star Wars Explained, so he got a really tough draw.
In the chat, Better Caller 7 Mad says he had a Greedo mask, but it went bad.
Oh,
it looks like it. It looks like it.
Probably some kind of edible thing, or I don't know.
Shall we move on from Greedo?
Yeah, let's move on from a Hello Stormtrooper.
Yeah, goodbye, Greedo.
John Campier.
Oof.
Oh, we have to hand the floor to Captain Spot.
JC, Campier. He got my vote this year.
This is the turbo-tongued guy, isn't it? He, like every single live stream he does, he sounds like he's had about 10 coffees and 3 shots of espresso in each.
So I can give you a couple of interesting quotes on John Campy, because what I'm referring here, whenever I put these matches on, I do a little tail of the tape, because the problem we've got with the modern day Shill Wars, I feel like I'm talking about WrestleMania, you know what I mean? It's
Shillmania.
But the problem we've got now, we don't get to see a lot of these people on Twitter because they've blocked everyone. So what I now do is give a little tail of the tape, and update everyone on some of the bullshit that they come out with. So this John Campy is a guy who thinks Empire Strikes Back is, quote, overrated, but described The Last Jedi as, quote, phenomenal. so take from that what you will. And also he describes Star Wars fans as, quote, cousin humping basement dwelling losers. So
here you
thanks,
go.
John.
I'll just put Brian's.
Leave it up there.
Yeah, can we get Brian back up, please?
So does that make him a Star Wars fan? I'm confused.
I have seen a couple of his streams that he does. Admittedly, I've not watched them for long because he is very in your face, isn't he?
Yeah, he did really well in the early Shill Wars, probably the first two, but this year he was put to the sword by Pablo. So yeah, again, and he had a tough draw, but we need him to step up. We need him to get angry again.
Yeah, he's getting a bit bland. He gets, I don't know, he does it. He gets Burnett on his show like almost every day. Yes, I am jealous.
I know.
How does one of the finalists of Shill Wars get one of the finest broadcasters in YouTube land on his show? I don't know, but I'm going to nab him. Oi, Caviar, I'm coming after your Burnett.
PD
My
Rich.
Burnett now.
I hate that egomaniacal. You can read it for yourselves, guys.
Egomaniacal, that's the word. Because I
don't
can't
think
put
he
my
likes
finger
him.
on it. There's something about the way he speaks where he seems to, it's intangible. Maybe I'm doing a lot of projecting. Maybe he reminds me of me, but he seems to talk as if he knows absolutely everything when he knows nothing and he's saying nothing. Kind of like me, but not as funny.
He does see himself as an authority, strangely, but oh, good Lord, is he not?
That's the thing. It's the empty arrogance. I quite like it. It's fun to watch. That's why if he won, he'd be like, "Of course I won Shill Wars. I am the best Shill. What's this? A brown nose and a leftover Hawaiian pizza." Yeah, he should win. He's my shoe in for 2022. He just needs to put out an effort. Yeah, another
up his
rent.
game a bit more.
Okay,
Up his game. A big rent will do it.
back him early while the odds are high. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Get when he's 100 to 1.
What about this guy coming up? Kevin Smith.
Oof.
Oh, Kevin Smith. So Kevin Smith is a different breed of shill because where Kevin Smith is frankly ridiculous is the amount of times he's cried over a Disney Star Wars movie. He did it for The Last Jedi. He did it for The Rise of Skywalker. He managed to get on set, I believe, at The Rise of Skywalker, and he was getting everyone excited, saying, "Oh, you're not going to believe the ending to this movie. It's one of the most emotional things." And he takes a picture of himself with tears rolling down his cheeks, and then everyone gets to see it and realize what a load of shit it was. So yeah, he's a totally different kind of shill. Yeah, he lost to Pablo in his opening match. So again, a tough draw.
Not according to Brian Young in the chat.
Oh, what a bell end.
Brian's earning his money tonight. Hail, Brian.
Brian, get the merch on the go. What a bell end. Get your mugs made and your t-shirts and.
Speaking of merch, I have actually got a Zazzle store with a few Fan Menace bits. If there is a link on my channel description, if any of you in the chat want to have a little perusal, feel free. I have done a few little fan.
Echo Base Network t-shirts?
No, that's copyrighted issues. Okay. I tried to stay away from copyrighted stuff. Anything else to say on Kevin Smith? Anybody?
Didn't he used to make films?
Yeah.
I think his ability left him with his excess weight, didn't it?
I kind of, with my limited knowledge of such subjects, I think he's yesterday's shill, isn't he?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. In all honesty, yeah, when I draw up the numbers for Shill Wars, some of them just, almost like picking a football team, they pick themselves. But you get into the, the double figures, the kind of 10 to 16, and you kind of start scraping the barrel. And unfortunately, Kevin Smith is some of the excrement on the inside of the barrel. He's not your fine quality shill anymore. So yeah, he might not make the cut next year. Sorry to Kevin Smith fans.
Sorry, Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, you like the rest of us, mate. Yesterday's news. Here we go then. Christian.
Like the rest of us? What?
Sorry, Christian Harloff.
Has been.
Oh, Christian Harloff. Yeah. So Harloff is what you'd maybe call a reluctant shill.
Wow.
I think he was. In fairness to him, he has been at times critical of some of the Disney stuff, although albeit very reserved in his criticism because
Has he been seduced by the dark side?
Yeah, maybe. I think that the one that everyone remembers him for, there was a famous clip where
Yes.
he basically had a meltdown because he didn't
Yes.
get a press pass for a Star Wars event, and he had this massive meltdown on air live. And the quote that came out of it was, "I've been busting my arse being a Star Wars fan for 5 years."
5 years.
Ever
Jeez.
since it came out.
Yeah, and he's never really lived that one down. And at that point, yeah, he was he joined the Shill fraternity. But I don't think he ever quite puts out enough Shill-worthy content to get him into the big league. So he lost in the first round.
I'll just give Brian the next word. Here you go, folks. What a bellend.
Busting his arse for 5 years. I mean, wow.
Only for 5 years. So he
Yeah.
sounded like he was pretty upset by it.
Yeah, he really wanted those press passes. Yeah, he thought he basically the undertones of what he's saying is I've been given positive reviews about Disney Star Wars, and you guys didn't give me a press pass. It's almost the definition of shill, isn't it? But...
Exactly. I'm not doing this shit
Life's
for
hard.
free. You don't think I really like these movies, do you? I've never even seen them. Do you know what shilling is? Come on,
Life's
Disney.
hard.
Only up. Give me
How
my
do you-
free plastic bollocks.
How do you bust your ass as a fan? If you're busting
Exactly.
your ass, you're not a fan, are you? That's work for you. If you're
Get
a fan,
get a
you
Wookiee.
enjoy it.
Get a bisexual Wookiee behind you. That'll do it.
PD
Allegedly.
Mitch says, that Collider meltdown was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Is that
it
the
was.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you've not seen it, for those watching, go and check it out. Just put his name in YouTube, you'll find it. It's
Right, okay.
pretty epic, actually.
Just type in Collider Meltdown. Brilliant. Just like if you type
Okay.
in Jeremy Inez argument, you get another
Yeah.
5 minute
Yeah.
YouTube funnery. Brilliant. Arguments are brilliant if I'm not in them.
Shall
Sometimes
we move on? Yes.
Next one.
Yeah,
Go
move
ahead.
on.
Yep, please do.
Shitty Star Wars posts.
Right, there we go. So, wow. So this was a Twitter account specifically set up to expose so-called shitty Star Wars takes. And they've actually built up quite a following. They've probably got about 12,000 followers now. They've really helped exposure for my account because they often retweet stuff I've put together. They really take exception every time I do a video with the Ruin Mask. They seem to think that's unhinged, psychopathic, and this guy needs help. Which
No one complains when Rian Johnson does it.
no one complains when Rian Johnson spells £8 million on a titty space cow and then makes Mark Hamill suckle from its breasts. But put on a Rian Johnson mask and sing a song, you're a psychopath.
You're the Antichrist.
So these guys have, we've had some serious clashes on Twitter. And
is it a group of people? Not
it's one main guy, but I think there's two of them who run the account. Yeah, and and they had a good start. They beat Jason Ward, who's previous finalist, but then they came up against Star Wars Explained, and I think if it wasn't for that, they could have gone quite far. But yeah, that's a shocking account. That, I mean, that is the Twitter account that all these SJW side of the Star Wars fandom love to follow and all chuckle amongst themselves like, oh, look how bad the other side is. Yeah.
For what reason do they follow them?
Just
examples.
Oh, just because the whole purpose of the account is to make our side of the fandom look bad. So yeah, like I say, I don't get to see what they post, but occasionally people send me like screenshots and stuff saying, "Oh, look, they're tweeting about you again." The one they did most recently was they made a real effort to get me banned on Twitter. They put a tweet out saying, It was as we were the day of the final of Shill Wars, and they basically said, "This is harassment." At Twitter support. What does it take to ban this guy? And obviously they got 12,000 followers, so they had hundreds of retweets and likes. But the problem is, I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not targeting anyone. I'm not harassing anyone. I'm having a bit of fun. I'm holding polls. I don't decide it.
Yeah.
I'm just putting a poll out there.
I'll just remove my overlay so you can see what their that's their icon.
Yeah.
I think that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My goodness.
It's very confrontational.
That kind of sums up, their account. I mean, I'd like Brian Young's assessment on the guy who runs this account.
Wasn't there something in Star Wars? Didn't Yoda something anger leads to the dark? Have these people seen Star Wars? No, obviously not.
They've just seen a way to capitalize on a lot of
Brian's coming in.
People.
Brian's coming in with his comment. Here we go.
Okay, drum roll.
What a bellend.
Subvert my expectations. He loves them.
He does.
Have you seen much of these guys, Demon?
Oh yeah, they've come up an awful lot. People comment and share, so they do come up in my feed every so often, and it's just abysmal. When I saw the icon the first time, I thought, oh, maybe it's like another parody type thing where they're sort of parodying the shills and stuff, and the people that are sucking up to Disney. And then I actually read some of their stuff, and I went, oh, okay, so you're not joking, right? Okay. And I think I've just distanced myself from them ever since. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They should be very high on this list.
Shall we move on then? Yes.
Yeah, let's move on.
Steele Saunders.
Oh, Steele Saunders. Right. So Steele, again, probably underperformed. He definitely is underperformed. He was beaten by Campy in round one.
He likes pussy. He likes pussy. I like pussy.
Steele is. I think he's an Aussie. He's an Aussie. He's a podcaster. He's got the Steele Wars podcast. He is most famous for shilling the whole concept of Raylo, which in itself is bad enough. He was behind as well. You may have seen the cards that Rian Johnson and many other people, Pablo and various other people, were holding up, which says "Your Snoke theory sucks." Do you remember those cards at all?
Definitely.
Yeah, they did the rounds on the internet. That was Steele's creation. He created those cards, and he passed them somehow got them into their hands. So again, just another way of riling the fans and taking the piss out of the fans. Most famous for an absolutely embarrassing interview with Daisy Ridley, and he does seem to get some big interviews. And again, worth looking on YouTube if you've not seen this. He puts a mic to Daisy and he says, "Daisy, we need to know. All the fans want to know. What do you think about Raylo?" And he was fully expecting with this big cheesy smile. For Daisy to say, "Oh, well, yeah, I fully support the idea, Raylo," and Daisy completely shut him down. And if you ever want to see someone die inside live on camera, go and check out that clip. It's absolutely hilarious. His little heart breaks.
You can pause his face, and you can just see his heart breaking in that scene.
All right, Brian Young.
What a belly.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I know what he's going to put up, but it's
secret comedy.
It keeps subverting your expectations because you think a funny joke's coming up. But no.
The only redeeming feature is, for me, the only redeeming feature is he likes pussy. So that's the redeeming feature for me. So shall we move on?
Brian is working hard on this catchphrase.
Jason Ward.
Catchphrase, isn't it?
Jason Ward. So finalist in the very first Shill Wars. So we had high hopes for him. He was only narrowly beaten by Brian Young that year, so he could well have been the first Shill Wars winner. He runs a website called makingstarwars.net, I think it is, which is quite a big website. He's had quite a few good scoops, and I think he's renowned for posting leaks as well. But he's got a very shady past. I think Ethan Van Siver's done some videos on it, and I wouldn't want to get
Yeah,
into it. But
don't go into
yeah,
that.
no, I won't. Don't worry.
Go
But
into it. I'm curious. What?
no, yeah,
No, not here, mate.
Go on Reddit or something. It's all over there.
Okay.
Yeah, his Shill star doesn't shine as bright as it did that first year, to be honest. And again, he bounced out in the first round to the debuting shit Star Wars posts. So, Jason, you got to step it up, man. You might not make the cut next year.
The shield that
Shall
burns
we-
twice as bright
shall
burns
we-
half as long.
Shall we give the final word to Brian?
Yeah, we need an assessment from Brian on Jason Ward.
Bellend, is he? What a...
End
This should, be
bell.
like, this should be a sort of an X Factor type sort of format, shouldn't it? And Brian's one of the judges.
Okay, we're approaching the end now. So next one is
Oh, actually,
Ren-
Ruin, are you going to do a live show next year for the? You can do like live YouTube Shill.
you should do nominations next year. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do it on the Brown
okay.
channel.
Right,
Yes.
I will break it here, right here
Ooh.
and now. We
Ooh.
will do the live draw for
Yes.
the Shill Wars
Oh,
brackets.
brilliant!
Okay,
Yes.
we'll do that live next year.
You
So
all heard him. I thought of it first.
And we'll produce something to make it look good. Yes.
we will.
A
We will.
poster,
We'll do it
a
live and
banana.
we'll dissect it and we'll talk odds and yeah, we'll do that.
Excellent. We
I'm
will
looking
hold you
forward
to
to
that.
Ah, pumped already.
This one is not
oh
the
my
woman out of
word.
Scott Pilgrim. It's Renfamous.
Yeah,
the name.
she looks nothing like that. That's a very flattering caricature of her. So Renfamous, right? So the funny thing about Renfamous is she is a grade A troll. She's not really that big a Star Wars fan, but she latched onto the fact that this could get her some notoriety. And what I actually admire about Renfamous is rather than kind of grumble or complain, she actually ran with it and embraced it. And every time she had a match, she'd retweet it to all her followers and say, please vote me for this. And Renfamous, I did a in the
Very
interest of equality, I did a female Shill Wars event. I think it was a couple of years ago, in between Shill Wars 1 and 2, I think it was, and Renfamous won it. She beat Molly Damon, who's one half of Star Wars Explained, and she beat lots of other Geek Girl Diva and Andy Gutierrez, who's works on the Star Wars show, had a Fanboy Tears mug, and yeah, lots of other notorious female shills. But Renfamous beat them all because she mobilized her army of fans to actually vote for her to win. Yeah, so good in the past, but she got a real tough draw against Brian Young in round 1, and Brian Young put her to the sword quite easily.
I'll speaking of Brian Young, I'll just give him the final word on this one. What a bell end.
What a bell end.
Maybe not this time, Brian, but
Oh,
Shall
she's
we
got
move on?
good strong arms. I like her forearms there. Got good pumping action there. Just a thought. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, speaking of bell ends. Anyway,
Oh wow! Right,
Mm.
we're now getting to the real
Business end. The
yeah,
business end.
if the shills were at a mountain, Mount Everest, we're now on the North Ridge. We're getting close to the
oh,
summit.
nice.
I'll just put Brian's comment up before we even get going on this one because I think it'll be relevant. There you go.
What a belly. He stole my moustache. You
In
give that
fact,
child back, Pablo.
we will leave Brian's comment on for the duration of this explainer.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, where to start
who
with
is this?
Pablo?
Who is this?
Demon, give me your take on Pablo.
Oh God, where do I start with Pablo? I used to watch the Star Wars show after The Force Awakens quite regularly, and did quite enjoy it. And he was on there quite regularly because it's all filmed at Skywalker Ranch, and he's obviously working there. And they sort of involve him in the show every so often in sort of little skits and things like that. And I thought, oh, he seems all right. He's quite knowledgeable about Star Wars. He's a good guy to reference anything that's happened before in real Star Wars before Disney got hold of it. And I thought he's obviously a good addition. the crew that are working on it. You know, he's a good. I think he's like an archivist or something like that. I'm not quite sure what his job is, but it just so happens after The Last Jedi, it turned into a total tower of shite, and he just was abusing fans left, right, and center. And I was actually directly involved with him at one point when before Solo came out. I tweeted an image.
Solo lost money.
I tweeted an image of a picture of Anthony Gruber, who should have been playing at the time.
Yes.
And
Indiana Jones and Rick Deckard. Anyway.
Yeah, and the image had above and below it. It said, "Knowing Gruber, no deal." And I think he posted something about Solo, and I just posted that on it. And then it went on this. Then, like for the next several hours, I had him and Freddie Prinze Jr. and a couple of other guys all going off at me about being a man baby, or about being a man child, and what's your end game? Or what do you hope to gain from all this? From these insults? I'm like, no, I'm just saying, you should have got the right actor. And they're just this torrent of crap coming from them at me. And I thought, geez, Pablo, I actually thought you were a decent guy before this. He was really, really going for it. And then he must have got like all his little followers onto me as well, because it just would not let up. And there was just for days afterwards, they were still having a go at me. Wow. So yeah, that's my experience with Pablo Hidalgo. I think he blocked me after that, then unblocked me, then blocked me again. I'm just not bothered.
Before we go to you, Ruin, I've had a little bit of an update from our friend Brian Young. If you look at the screen.
Oh wow. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh.
Wow. We love you, Brian.
Wow.
Ruin?
Yeah,
thoughts?
He's obviously very sensitive that that Pablo made the final and Brian didn't this year. Yeah, so look, Pablo, always a strong competitor. He writes some of the Star Wars books, which basically fill in the gaps and make excuses for the holes in the movies. So he does the what are they called? The art of books, I think it is, or the so the art of the Last Jedi, or the art of the he puts those pieces of shit together. He's nuked his Twitter account many times. He gets into spats with people, then he locks his account, then he deletes all his followers, and then he reopens his account, so he's slightly unhinged. But most recently, he's done many nasty things over the years, but most recently he mocked Star Wars Theory, big YouTuber, you'll probably all know him, for his reaction to the Mandalorian, the Luke cameo. Star Wars Theory actually shed a tear for seeing what we all know and love to be Luke on screen, as we like to see him. Yeah,
we all did. It was a moment.
Pablo famously said, "Emotions are not for sharing." That was his callous put down. So that understandably angered a few people. So Kevin Smith crying on the set of Rise of Skywalker, not a problem. Genuine fan crying at the sight of Luke returning after 40 years. Don't show your emotion.
Sheer double standards.
Kind of sums up Disney, doesn't it?
So definitely thermonuclear.
Yes, absolutely.
Is he?
Move on, yes.
Move on. Let's do it.
And the winners of Shill Wars. What year is it? 2021?
2021. Winners of Shill Wars, yeah. Star Wars Explained. So they've always done well. I did enter them separately in previous years. So it's Star Wars Explained are a couple, Alex and Molly. They're actually husband and wife. I used to like them. This is pre-Ruin the Man Baby days. They actually made some decent content. They've got a huge YouTube channel, and they've been on a lot of podcasts that I listen to. But somewhere along the line, they definitely wandered into the Shill territory, and it was clear that you were never going to get an honest opinion from them. They were only ever going to be positive. They obviously valued their place in the the pecking order. They valued the free tickets to Galaxy's Edge and all the advanced copies of books and all the rest of it. And and then they did the funniest thing they ever did, which I made a comedy video about, which recently they've reacted to quite badly. They use what's called a blockchain, and again, for those not on Twitter, it's basically a trick you can do almost where you can block certain accounts, but then also everyone who follows that account.
Right, yes.
For example, the likes of myself, they don't like what I put on, so they block me. Fine, but then they also say, but also block the 10,000 people that are following Ruin the Man Baby. So they did that, and they did it with me, with Doomcock, with Geeks and Gamers, with Itchy Backer, and a lot of the other anti-Last Jedi accounts out there, and all their followers, which racks up to probably hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah. The only problem is they then, in doing that, they blocked half of their own YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
So who people who've never interacted with them on Twitter, people
on 2 hours.
Yeah, the people who watch them on YouTube also happily would read my tweets, because hey, guess what? Some people like different opinions, and yeah, they actually lost thousands of YouTube subs over this.
Brian's got a comment over that.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, and like I say, recently they've Molly, the
we
wife,
love you, Brian,
in the partnership has been breaching the terms of service on Twitter, calling for people to report me for harassment.
Wow.
Yeah, but
which is in itself harassment.
It is, ironically, it is, yeah. to call on people
Double
to mass
standards.
report me.
That is 4D chess level of hypocrisy. She's harassing you literally under the Twitter rules to trying to get her
Double
followers
standards.
to report you for harassment that you're not doing in the head's exploding. I can't get my head around that one.
It is kind of funny. I'm sure they're praying for the day they'll get me on something, and but yeah, so far Club Star Wars, good to see those guys on. They're my buddies who live just down the road in Manchester, so yeah, they know the deal.
Yay, Club Star Wars.
Star Wars
You guys should get together, by the way. You guys should get together on each other's channels. You're all great YouTubers, and you can help each other out. So,
Nice.
I was going to say, for all the people who have stuck with us this long, we've had good numbers considering. If you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button and just press the thumbs up. And if you enjoyed the content, please share it with your friends, and let's just try and. We're only small. We're in the UK, so
give us a run. We might grow.
Yeah, we're going to start somewhere. So we try and put out the best content we can. So so if you could click that thumbs up button and press the subscribe, we would be eternally grateful. So I will say, Ruin. These Star Wars Explained, are they worthy winners then for 2020?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So just looking in the chat there, Better Cala 7 Mad says they will keep the crown for decades, and yeah, I mean, going into this year's tournament, I had them earmarked as possible or probable finalists. I thought they would do well. Adam Lance Garcia, who was obviously removed. Obviously, Brian, I thought, being the two-time champion, would do well. And Pablo. I had those four as my semi-finalists, and then any two in the final. But yeah, definitely worthy winners. They have a smarminess about them, Star Wars Explained, and a holier than thou. And at least people like Renfamous and Chuck Wendig, they kind of embrace being a piece of shit, and they are who they are. And but Star Wars Explained has
are they
kind
smug? Are they smug?
Yeah, this faux. We're the good guys here. We're so nice, and we just want peace and harmony in the fandom. Yeah, but there's a nasty undertone to them, and I enjoy calling them out on it.
And they're married as well, is that right? They're a married couple.
They're married, yeah. There's a rather unfortunate photo from a convention, which I am disappointed you didn't use, Mr. Brown, but I understand why. And it's where Alex is dressed as Slave Leia, and his wife is the kind of his owner, his slave owner.
I think I've seen it.
It don't view it before dinner. It will turn your
Before
stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It burns itself on the retinas.
Yeah, but no, I do fancy them to hold on to it. They'll do well. They've gained notoriety in the fandom, and if I could, it leads on very nicely to my next Twitter tournament, which they will feature heavily in. Can I quickly outline it?
Ooh.
Of course you can.
Can I give you breaking news?
You've earned the right. 2 hours. You've earned the right.
I put the time. So I'm doing a little tournament because obviously Shill War's been so popular. It's kicked up so much controversy. I want to follow it up, and I'm doing a thing called Block Party, and this is where everyone can take part. And it's basically there we go. It's that you can just see the edge of that photo. Block Party is basically block bingo, because we've reached the point now where so many of these goddamn shills have blocked us all. So we're going to play a bit of block bingo. So every week I'm going to give you all a few of these well-known shill accounts, and you're all able to check and see if you've been blocked by them, basically. And we'll see who gets the full house. And Star Wars explained that it will be an easy one because, like I said, they've blocked half of Twitter. So even if you don't know who they are, never interacted with them, you've probably been blocked by them. But yeah, we'll have some fun with that. Like I say, they think they're putting one over on us by blocking us and then talking about us behind our backs. But actually, we're just gonna have some fun with it. So that'll be happening at Ruin the Man Baby on Twitter over the next few weeks. Let's have some fun with these shills.
Excellent.
Shall we call it a draw there? I think we should.
Yeah, if that's been fantastic. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I will say to everybody, as I always say in the chat, you've been brilliant, guys. Especially Brian with his comments. We are nothing without you guys in the chat. So
without you, Bellends.
As I've said, it will be just 4 of us talking shit amongst ourselves. Whereas when we've got you guys, it makes all the difference. So I really do thank you for popping in and adding to the conversation. Demon Scythe, thank you, my friend.
No, thank you. It's always a pleasure. Absolutely loved having a chat. Ruin, absolute pleasure as well, sir.
No problem.
Feel very fortunate to chat to you after all this time, and it's been hilarious as well.
It's been it's been a blast. We got for the first hour we did the films, but I think it was worth the wait to get into the fun stuff at the end. So. Captain, you all right? Yes, you good? Thanks for coming in, mate.
In fact, I'd like to apologise actually because I know I could hear myself doing a lot of interrupting. I just got so excited. Like all these years,
we're honoured.
Ruin.
We're honoured. Yes.
Yeah, I'm honoured, Ruin. I mean, I'm used to these two, but Ruin is an honour and a pleasure. Just you are pop royalty, film, whatever. You're pizza royalty to me.
I've really enjoyed it, fellas. Honestly, it's been good fun, and I did say to Demon, I'd love to come on and help you guys out, and hopefully give you some new eyes, and post it out over Twitter, and I hope you get the views after the fact as well. There's a good few hours of entertainment there for people if they want to get into it, and. Look, we'll do it again sometime. And
we'd love you to come on, mate, anytime. Yeah. This kind of Friday thing we're trying to put together. If you're available for the odd Friday, that'd be amazing, mate.
It's not called Friday Night Bullies.
No, it's not. So
it's still up in the air.
So we're trying to organise that because I think to make it a success, we need to kind of produce something. Like the. Big boys over in the States, so I'm just trying to figure that out. But you have been amazing tonight, mate. It's been great. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome, and to all those in the chat. And I've enjoyed it all. Good banter, good fun, and I hope that what it shows is that we're we're not a load of trolls. We're not a load of racist, sexist, man baby
Agreed.
arseholes that
Agreed.
we're painted out to be. There's actually a lot of love for Star Wars. There's a hell of a lot of knowledge. I mean, off with no prep and off the cuff, we get into these movies, and yeah, I think it's so short-sighted. Some of the abuse directed our way by the other half of the fandom, but I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I have immense fun doing it, and I get a real kick out of some of the responses to the posts. And yeah, it's look, I'll leave it on this. I will be forever grateful for Rian Johnson, The Last Jedi, because it has given me such entertainment. It's put me in touch with people I would never have met or spoken to before. So I'm grateful for that. So I will finish by saying thank you, Rian Johnson. And if you're ever in the UK, I will happily get into the MMA cage with you, and we'll sort out our differences that way.
Okay. I'll play the outro, and we'll say goodbye to everybody. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.